7:50 Thursday morning, May the 28th, 2015. You know the music. It's now time for KUGN's edition of Cop Talk. I'm Grant McHill alongside Storm Kennedy.
And he is crime prevention specialist Harlow Meno in studio with us this morning. Good morning, Harlow.
Good morning.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about a little situation I saw as I was driving home from work the other day, and it has to do with our bike theft prevention topic today. But on the post outside of a person's house, and it looked like, just a random post with a sign on it, and somebody had, locked their bike to the post. Everything was gone except for the frame of the bike. Everything, seat, tires, pedals, everything was gone except for the frame.
Yep. That often happens. We always talk to people about not leaving their bikes out unattended places. You can leave it out there for a short period of time. If you lock it someplace where there's people around. Don't lock it someplace where there's not people around. But even so, don't leave it. Think you can leave it overnight. Don't think you can leave it for a couple of days just because it's locked. Unfortunately, the thieves out there will not. If they can't get the whole bike, they'll take whatever they can get. And sometimes that means the wheels, the seat, the handlebars, the pedals, whatever they can get off the bike.
It was definitely a very quiet street too. So it was. You could see it. You're like, oh no, what were you thinking?
Harley, you may not keep this stat, I don't know, but do you know how many bikes are stolen in Eugene throughout the course of a year?
I don't. I do know at this point that bike theft is slightly up right now. I know that the other part of that is bike theft is up a little bit, but along with that, we're not returning a lot of bikes either. The percentage is relatively low for the number that are stolen. And that's because people don't keep their serial numbers. They don't keep good descriptions of their bikes, so that when they do have a stolen bike, they can't report it well to us so that we have a better chance of getting that back to them.
Now, talking about locking up, of course, this person that locked their bike to this post, they were thinking, somewhat by locking it up. But when you're out in public, you're going to a store, you're going into the bank, you're going into a restaurant, and you think, I can see it outside the window. What do Eugene Police crime prevention specialists like yourself say about even if you're just inside, just grabbing a quick, Coke or something?
We always say the first thing is you always lock your bike. Don't ever think you can just run to the store. Oh, I forgot my lock. I'll leave it sitting outside the door and run in to get something. It only takes minutes. A crime. This crime is a crime of opportunity. Theft is, and if you don't provide that opportunity, then oftentimes you can keep that from happening. That's a situation where you leave it unlocked, and it literally takes somebody just seeing it and walking off with it in seconds. So, always lock your bike. Lock it to something stationary. We often suggest using two locks. Use a U-lock to lock it to something stationary, and then use a cable lock just to use with the U-lock to lock your bicycle wheels back to that U-lock so they can't take those also. There are other things like cables that you can put on your seat so that you could still adjust it with a quick release, but they can't pull the seat and the seat post off the bicycle also.
I have one of those, and it is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I've been on bike rides with friends before, and their seats get stolen. And mine's still there?
Yep.
Yep. Harlow, I'm curious, when should you report or maybe take a bike that you find to the police department? You might see a bike on the side of the roadway, and I'll take it to the police department, but then it turns out that maybe a kid left it out there. So when do you know if a bike should be reported?
Well, the big thing is if you see something that's, say, left on your property, the big thing is call us. Let us know that it's there. Call in the non-emergency number. That's the 541-682-5111. Call that number. Let us know that you found it. The good thing is, if it's a neighbor, they're probably going to, somebody will be out searching for the bike. If it's a child that left the bike out or something like that. But if it's a case where it's been stolen, that's the way you get it into our system is by letting us know that you found it. We come out and have somebody pick the bike up, and then they call us, let us know it was taken, and then hopefully we can match those back up and get it back to them.
For the bikes you can't match up to a person, do you just have a garage full of bikes at the police department?
Well, yeah, at our evidence control unit, what happens is that we obviously try to match those bikes up, but if we don't get a good description during that report, we don't get the make, model, serial number, color, those kinds of things. If we just get that it was a black Schwinn bicycle, that's really hard to match up to somebody. And
right.
Ultimately, those bicycles, after we've tried every effort to get rid of those and we've held them for the amount of time that we need to, they go off to an auction to just be gotten rid of.
Wow. All right, so summertime is just around the corner. In fact, summer weather is already here. We're out in our yards. We're doing our yard work. We're keeping the garage door open. You mentioned something off the air that I definitely want our listeners to hear about because I do it all the time.
One of those major ways that bicycles are getting stolen is, with summer, people are mowing lawns. They're out doing things during the day, and they leave their garage door open. oftentimes you should lock your bicycle even in the garage, but oftentimes people don't. And it takes seconds. You're out mowing the backyard and you got sound going, you're not paying attention to it. Somebody can walk in there and take power tools. They can take your bikes. They can take all those things out of your garage in seconds. Literally, they walk in, grab them, and they're gone. And you don't even notice till the next time you go looking for your bicycle.
Sure.
So always, whenever you're doing things, shut that garage door. Don't leave that as an advertisement for all those things that you have inside your garage by just leaving that open when you're doing other things.
Just a couple seconds left, Harlow, but do thieves care what the bike brand is? Do they care at all?
If it's an opportunity, if it's sitting there unlocked, they'll take pretty much anything. But we always suggest that if you're going to be like commuting on a bike, or you're going to be someplace where you have to leave your bike for a period of time, get something that's less flashy, or make your bike a little less flashy. Take the decals off, put reflective tape on it, do some things that don't make it look so appealing. And then reserve your very expensive mountain bike or road bike for sport riding. The type you can go out, you can do your ride, you can bring it home, bring it in the house, and lock it up.
All right. And don't leave it unlocked on the car either. The last note before we go.
Correct. Yes. We often find that sometimes people are putting them on there to take them other places, and they forget to lock them to the rack.
And they stop for a little lunch.
And the bike's gone when they come back out.
Yep.
Crime prevention specialist, Harlow Meno. Harlow, as always, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.